Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Day 2 of Big Ten Football Media Days occurred earlier today in Indianapolis, and the Huskers took to the stage. Head coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media and talked about a variety of topics, but one of his main messages today was about earning respect.
I've really thought about this, right? I mean, we want to compete in every game we play, right? I mean, we play to win the game, as Coach Morris said. So, I mean, we're going to go out and try to win every game. I think there's something bigger, though, for us at Nebraska. Like, there was a time when Nebraska football was feared, and we certainly want to get back to that. We want to be a team that you say, you know what, that team's feared, but we're not at that point yet. We're at a point right now where I believe that we have to take back the respect of what it means to play Nebraska and to be Nebraska. I mean, I want people to respect when they see that white helmet with that red N on it. And so I want our fans to respect us when they pay their money to come watch us play. I want our opponents to respect us. I want all of college football to respect the way that Nebraska plays the game. And most importantly, I want our players to respect what it means to be a Cornhusker and what it means to be at Nebraska. So this season for me is all about us not just earning, but taking back respect and bringing back respect to Nebraska football. And so once you earn respect, then you can talk about being feared, and that's the process we're going to go through.
Hear more from Coach Rhule later on in the show during his exclusive conversation with Greg Sharpe. In national news, Colorado has decided to officially rejoin the Big 12 Conference. The University of Colorado Board of Regents unanimously approved the resolution earlier this afternoon. The Buffaloes should join the Big 12 in time for the 2024-25 athletic season. And finally, a light schedule in Major League Baseball today. The Angels defeated the Tigers in Game 1 of a doubleheader, 6-0, thanks to a complete game shutout from Shohei Ohtani. And in Game 2, the Angels lead 8-4 in the 8th, and the Nationals and Mets will start momentarily. Later tonight, the Cardinals host the Cubs, and the Guardians visit the White Sox. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
With trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome into Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe is en route back to Lincoln from Indianapolis. He's been up there for the last 2 days covering Big Ten Media Days. We got lots of coverage coming up of that over the next couple of hours. I was able to talk to Greg and just ask him about a few of his takeaways, his big takeaways. And I said these 3 questions. Outside of Rhule, who was your MVP or star of Big Ten Media Days? His answer was all 3 new coaches did well. I also agree. I thought Ryan Walters, Luke Fickell did really well today, especially Ryan Walters, whose first time as a head coach at this level at Purdue. Thought he handled himself really well. I asked him, how did the NU players handle themselves today? And he said our players did really, really well. He's really impressed with Ethan Piper, Jeff Sims, and Luke Reimer and how they handled it. It can be a daunting day. A lot of questions being thrown at you. So he said they all did a great job. And then I asked him about his biggest takeaways, and he said Fleck took on the allegations head on. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, how an article came out just right before media days that, kind of talking about the culture and whatnot inside Minnesota. It was the day before he was supposed to head to the podium. So he came well prepared and had a great answer for that question when it came up. And so Greg said Fleck took the allegations head on, which was honestly refreshing and Harbaugh was odd as usual, which when we asked Greg what he was looking out for today, he said he's interested to see how Jim Harbaugh is, and he was odd as usual. So we'll hear much more from Greg coming up here later in the show. As Camden had in the ticker, he had one-on-one exclusive interviews with the head coach, Matt Rhule, who, of course, was great in all of his media obligations today, and Jeff Sims as well, so one-on-one with him. And then Adam Rittenberg of ESPN coming up in hour number 2. Greg and Adam will break down everything that they kind of took away from Big Ten Media Day, so we'll have plenty of coverage of that coming up. Also in hour number 2, if you're on social media, you probably saw this, but a tweet came out from the Huskers social media accounts that highlighted the women's sports attendance here at Nebraska. So recently the metric came out that measures the 4 women's sports that they track attendance. So soccer, volleyball, women's basketball, and softball. And Nebraska, number 2 in the country in total attendance in those 4 women's sports, and behind only South Carolina. From what I'm told, they're not too far behind South Carolina. So with the volleyball sellout game inside the stadium, and then of course all the ticket requests and probably a sellout every single game with softball, got to think that Nebraska has a shot to get to number 1. So coming up in hour number 2, had a chance to talk with all of these coaches about this, what this means to their programs and how they've seen it evolve. Because if you think about it, Amy Williams was a player here, and then John Cook's been here a long time. Coach Walker with soccer's been here a long time, and Coach Rhule as well. So they've seen the growth of women's sports, not just here at Nebraska, but overall, but throughout the years here at Nebraska, and what that's meant to their individual programs and how much pride they take in that. So we're going to hear from those 4 coaches coming up in hour number 2. Really excited for that, so you'll want to stick around for that. So all of that Big Ten coverage as well. And a couple of those big storylines I mentioned with Coach Harbaugh and PJ Fleck. So those are two of my big takeaways as well. And yeah, it was fun to hear some of the players on the set as well, especially the Nebraska players. As I mentioned, I love this quote from Luke Reimer. He was asked, it was put out by the Big Ten Conference here. Let's see if I can find it. And asking him about if he would have ever thought as a walk-on he would have ever had this kind of opportunity. And this was his quote. I would have been like, so this is, what if then freshman walk-on Luke Reimer was told that he'd one day represent GBR at Big Ten Media Days? And he said, I would have been like, dude, like, you do not know what you're talking about. Like, that does not happen to walk-on. So it's been fun to follow his journey. I did a story on him about his journey to this point, how he played 8-man football in Kansas, wasn't highly recruited, but believed in himself, had some offers, but ended up coming back here. And now he's the leading returning tackler for Nebraska football, and has had quite the journey and did a great job there representing. He's also come a long way in talking with the media, because he was not a fan of it at first. He's not a guy that likes to talk about himself much. He loves talking about his teammates, but he's evolved in that, as well as is going to be expected to be a leader, and that's what those representatives are when they're selected to go represent each program. They're usually those leaders of the football program, and so those 3 guys did a heck of a job and certainly are going to be looked to be great leaders for this football program. Camden also had this in the ticker, but another big domino that has now officially fallen. We talked about it a lot on the show last night as it kind of broke leading up to last night's show, but Colorado officially heading back to the Big 12. And I heard a couple of reports now that Deion Sanders was a big proponent of this. He was making a big push to get Colorado back in the Big 12. One of the big reasons was to get a recruiting imprint back in Texas. With his ties to Texas, he wants to get back into having a leg up in recruiting there in Texas, and playing some of those Texas schools year in and year out certainly would help with that. The Big 12 presidents met last night and voted unanimously. And so then today, Colorado, the Board of Regents, met and also voted unanimously. And they put out a statement saying that we're headed back to the Big 12. How about Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner? They put out a statement for the Big 12, and it was short and sweet and simple, and came from the Big 12 media accounts. Irving, Texas. The following statement was released today by the Big 12 Conference through its commissioner, Brett Yormark, regarding the University of Colorado. Quote, they're back, end quote. Simple and sweet, but this has been something that's been in the works for months. They've been in conversations and talks to make this happen. And Colorado, again, was waiting to hear what the Pac-12 was going to do with their media rights deal, and wanted to see what the Pac-12 was going to present. There still has not been anything presented. And so in order to secure their future financially, thought it was the right move. So that's the first domino to fall. Now we wait and see what else the Big 12 is going to do to add to their conference. So Brett McMurphy from Action Network had put out that the Big 12 will likely add between 1 and 3 more schools to join Colorado in 2024. So this is looking at a year from now. And the league will first seek others from the Pac-12 to join. So we saw some reports coming out that there's another Pac-12 school, not Arizona State, or Utah, that potentially more than likely could follow Colorado. So I saw Oregon State. But Brett went on to say that if none of those Pac-12 schools do decide to join Colorado, then it would be some of the targeted schools would be UConn, Memphis, San Diego State, or UNLV to reach an even number of teams of 2024. And talk about adding UConn, that's a huge school, a huge program for basketball, both men's and women's, to add that to the Big 12 conference. And Big 12 certainly has been one of the better conferences in men's basketball. Women's basketball, they've had some great years as well, with a pretty competitive league from top to bottom. Memphis is another one of those that would be a great basketball addition. And and SDSU, of course, coming off that Final Four run. And UNLV. So will be fascinating to see how this goes. The Pac-12 presidents are meeting today or later tomorrow. I'm not sure which one. I can't remember what. There's been so much information. Here it is. So Stuart Mandel put out that he has received word that the Pac-12 CEOs and ADs will hold a meeting today, so this afternoon, to discuss options. So could be hearing more news on that coming out. And it was moved pretty quickly with the Big 12, and we'll see if the Pac-12 can stick together, find a couple more schools to add to stick together, or if they will completely fall apart. But conference realignment and all of that has been big story, big topic, and for years now, and it continues to be so as Colorado now is officially heading back to the Big 12. Boy, it is a hot one out there today. I was trying to find the official temperature. Cold, it's like, I saw 99, but it sure feels hotter than 99.
I think it was 100. I think it broke 100. It felt like it, especially in the sun. It's bad.
It is hot. And as of right now, we are seeing volleyball players in full uniform. We talked about a month or so ago that we had a media day for Nebraska football, and they were going through the rotation of doing stuff for the big screen and their photo shoots and social media and all of that. And they're doing that today with volleyball, so the internal media day. And they have a station that's outside, so they're walking by our studio. And I hope they got some fans or some portable air conditioners out there for them right now, because it is still hot out there. They're at least in the shade, but not sure what station they're doing out there. But it's exciting. It's exciting to see. It was exciting to see the football players back in pads and full pads, and now it's exciting to see those volleyball players in their full uniforms going through that, as it will be here before you know it. August 8th is the official start for practice for Nebraska volleyball. Cannot wait for that. And again, we're going to hear more from Coach Cook coming up here in hour number 2. All right, going to step in or work in our first break here of Sports Nightly, because we got some interviews to get to, some coverage from Big Ten Media Days with Greg Sharpe. Up next, we're going to hear his conversation with the head coach, Matt Rhule, his first media day at Big Ten Media Days. Has certainly not been the first of his appearances, but his first at the Big Ten. So we'll hear from him coming up next in his one-on-one interview with Greg Sharpe. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400, the number to call or text in. The Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you could always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Matt Rhule and Greg Sharpe coming up next here on Sports Nightly.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens. But every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Huskers fans, we need your support in celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium while cheering on the Huskers this fall. Purchase an all-new Husker football Big Ten 3-game package today for only $100. This package gets you a ticket to the Northwestern, Purdue, and Maryland home games, all for just $100. A very limited amount of Husker football single-game tickets are also on sale. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase yours today at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red! Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Today we have two very special guests on our program introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit the road this summer in a brand new SUV from Woodhouse, offering 19 top-rated brands with the latest technology, functional cargo space, and safety features that will give you the confidence behind the wheel of every journey. Visit woodhouse.com to shop our new and pre-owned inventory, or visit one of our conveniently located dealerships to find the SUV for your summer adventures. Your trusted auto partner since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe has been in Indianapolis over the last couple of days, giving us coverage of the Big Ten Media Days. Matt Rhule making his first appearance as the head coach for Nebraska, and of course, as expected, did a wonderful job and had a lot of great, interesting stories and sound bites and was super motivating. And I know I saw, again, on my social media, a lot of media members really impressed, as always, with how he handled himself behind the microphone. And Greg Sharpe was able to sit down and chat with Matt Rhule and get a little exclusive one-on-one with the head coach at Media Days.
All right, Jessica, joined now by the head football coach of the Cornhuskers, Matt Rhule. So here you are, Big Ten Media Day, and you come as a head coach of a Big Ten team. That's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. It's a elite environment, great town, and it's cool to see all the people here covering.
I don't know that I've even asked you this, that how much of the lure of the Big Ten kind of factored into your decision to take this job?
Yeah, I felt like I'd be the best fit in the Big Ten. We looked at schools and other conferences, but I thought I wanted to be in the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten's the future of college football. I think, when you get to the playoff era, Big Ten, SEC will lead the way. And so the Big Ten allowed me to kind of live in a part of the country I wanted to live in and still also coach at an institution like this.
Yesterday, it's kind of neat in the kickoff, Coach. You weren't here yet, but they had representatives from Fox, CBS, and NBC all here. That's a pretty cool deal to have three of the major networks as TV partners.
Yeah, I mean, we'll play national TV games this year on all of them. And I think that's really good for our brand. That's really good for recruiting. To go all across the country and show people, what it means to be a Nebraska Cornhusker. And so the TV deal is really good for us in the future of the Big Ten.
Jeff Sims, Luke Reiber, and Ethan Piper. Your decision to bring those three guys.
Well, I could have brought a lot of other guys and would have been just as successful. I just think when you look at his on-field performance, the things that he's done, things he's overcome, Luke Reimer, I couldn't think of a better guy to represent the football team. Jeff's our quarterback. He's our leader, and so after every game he's going to be out there talking. So to me, I thought it was only right to bring him. And if you're at Nebraska and you don't bring an O-lineman, then shame on you. And a lot of guys on the O-line I love. They could all do it. But when I think about being a true Cornhusker, doing things right on the field, doing things right in the classroom, in the locker room, and in the community, I can't think of anyone better than Ethan Piper. He's really what we want our guys to be. So great representatives. I think they represent the team, and I'm proud of those guys.
What's your process? What's your thoughts on captains? How will that play out in the next month?
Yeah, every year's different. My history has typically been to do game captains each week, and then especially since we do the single digit, but to do game captains each week, and then at the end of the year let the guys elect permanent captains. To me, leadership shows up in big moments, in big games, in adversity. And so the leaders will emerge. To elect guys as leaders is good, and maybe we'll do that. But I think allowing guys to truly emerge, by the end of the year, we'll all know who our leaders are.
When will the decision come down on the single-digit numbers? Is that something that'll play out during camp?
Yeah, we'll usually do it a couple of times during camp. It's kind of tiered. We'll vote for 2 or 3 guys. Boom, then we'll have 2 or 3 more. So it kind of works itself out as we go through camp. The Jay Terry and the equipment guys, Keith, they lose their mind because they got to get jerseys ready and numbers ready and rosters ready. But it's such a good thing for our players to do.
I think on your last radio show back in April, you said how critical May and June are, and even into July, for the development and for what kind of season you're going to have. So how's that been?
Yeah, I've been really pleased. I think 99% of our team has really moved forward. You always have some guys that are, you'd like to see them come along a little further. But I think when you look at the leadership, when you look at the guys who are going to play for us, they've been jogging, they've been sprinting to get better. And I like where our team's at in that regard.
How about the acclimation of those kids that came in June? Has that gone okay?
Yeah, the freshmen, Corey does such a great job in the weight room. Gus does such a great job in player development. Dennis in academics and Kristen in nutrition. They're their own kind of cohort. They bring them along slowly, teaching them, but with high expectations. And that allows those guys to bond while also still learning the greater culture of the entire, team.
June, Coach, that was a marathon to get through that month for you, for the staff, for everybody. That was a tough month.
Yeah, it was hard, At the end of the day, I'm glad we had I'm glad we saw our team get better. I'm glad we saw progress in recruiting so that we could at least say, hey, it was worth it. But it's been good in July to get away a little bit, and just recharge, because what we're fixing to do is really hard. College football done it the right way. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I'm glad I had a chance to get away.
You played in this league, and I know you've scouted tape for the last 6-7 months. Has it changed the style of the league? It gets pigeonholed as just a pound and cloud of dust league. It's not really the case anymore at this conference.
It's way less that than it was when I played. When I played at Penn State, we were in the I formation. Ohio State was in the I formation. Michigan was in the I formation. I mean, everyone was. Now it's everyone's in 11 personnel. They got 3 wides on the field. 1 tailback, 1 tight end. So the whole league's become much more spread out. It's still, people are going to run the ball. People are going to play defense, but it's a little bit, of a different take on how to do that.
Do you go through each week and spend a couple of hours a week on Minnesota and then Purdue, and then how do you break that down in the offseason? Because this is your first run through this thing.
Yeah, when I first got here, I went back and looked at all the teams early on, just to sort of establish what the vibe of the league is, what personnel they use on offense and defense. What does everyone sort of do? Then as we get into the summer and we're looking at specific opponents, it's unique for us in that, Colorado's a new team, so you have to kind of wipe that away because you don't really know what they're going to be until they play TCU. We do work on it, don't get me wrong, but really Minnesota, you have a good feeling that they're going to change a little bit, but you have a good feeling of who they are. Northern Illinois and La Tech, Michigan, they're all returning teams. So for me, the key for us is giving our guys those first couple games, hey, make sure in training camp we're practicing what we're going to do in those games. And as the season goes, we'll evolve. We'll see what we're good at, what we're not good at. We'll try to, protect our weaknesses and play to our strengths, and then see what the rest of the league's doing.
Sunday is move-in day. Is that when you'll move them into the dorms? You excited about that part?
Yeah, it's the start of training camp, I'll move into the dorm. I'm excited to get my room. I'm excited to have the guys get their rooms and get back on campus. This is all fun. It's great to be here. But, I'm kind of talked out. It's time to go. It's time to go work. It's time to go play. So I'm anxious to get that going.
The Go Big project's not quite completed. Is that the possibility of being a distraction for you in the first until you fully get in there or not?
If it's a distraction, we're not who we say we are, we're so blessed to have a building that nice. We're so blessed to be able to know that we can move in there at some point. So we're hopeful that we'll get in there, but the facilities we have right now are pretty darn good. So, for me, just give me a pair of cleats, helmet, shoulder pads, and a ball, and we'll go figure it out. So, and that's kind of the mentality of our guys. I like our guys because of that. So whenever we move in, it'll be awesome, but I'd rather it be done right than be done quickly.
Grass fields are in, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. The game's supposed to be played on grass. It's a little bit safer. It's a little bit cooler. Really appreciative to Trev and everybody for getting that done. When you stand out there now and you see the grass field plus the new turf area going in outside the Go Big project plus the Cook plus Hawks, I don't know if anybody has a 5-field setup quite like that.
Yeah. All right. Anybody not going to be able to go because of injuries to start camp? What's the health of this football team here a few days out?
Yeah, we probably have a couple guys that might be banged up. Marquise Buford is one, maybe a couple others. I'll probably update people on Monday. Just give guys a couple days to see where they're at, and then. But it's kind of fluid, so we'll see on Monday who can go and who can't, and kind of go from there.
I've been talking to your assistants over the last month. Sounds like a lot of guys who didn't participate in spring are ready to go, which that's got to be good. That makes you a better football team.
Yeah, Ty Robinson, Teddy Prohaska, a lot of guys like that have been out. They're back, and I'm happy for them. They all want to compete. They're doing this to compete, so the season's here. Let's get them out there.
How's the staff been? You pleased with what you've put together to get this program going?
Yeah, they work. They're tireless. There's a lot of, and you guys all see, they all see the coaches. we have so many people behind the scenes that do such an elite job. We have young people working, we have people working, whether it's the creative department making the videos that we put on the social media, to our recruiting staffs, operational staffs, and the weight room, training room, nutrition. We've got great people that work really hard for us.
Well, I'm glad you survived the day. Any bizarre questions? Brett Bielema got asked if he'd seen Barbie yet yesterday.
No, I didn't get that. When you go into some of those rooms, they do the TV stuff. They ask you a lot of Thanksgiving questions and all that. And I guess I'm just not very self-aware there. Hey, tell me something funny you did one time. I'm like, I don't know. So, there's a lot of things that are football, but a lot of things that aren't football too. So.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you, brother.
There he is, the head football coach of the Cornhuskers, Matt Rhule. Jessica, back to you.
Thanks, Greg and Coach Rhule. So I guess after media days, Coach Rhule and the players went to St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, I guess it was today or last night, one or the other. But he posted about 2 hours ago, Coach Rhule posted on his social media, the Ethan Piper, Jeff Sims, and Luke Reimer tasting the St. Elmo's cocktail sauce. And when I went to Indianapolis for the Big Ten women's basketball tournament a couple years ago, I had never been there, didn't know anything about it either. And someone just gave me a shrimp with a big heaping serving of that cocktail sauce. And my nose was burning, my eyes were watering. It was like I was in shock a little bit, and because it's not what I expected either. And it looks like some of those guys, especially Ethan and Jeff Sims, had that same reaction that I had when I ate it. And so it's pretty funny. And Coach Rhule has a lot of laughing emojis. I'm wondering if he just told them to have a big bite of it. But we got to be prepared. I feel like you have to be prepared once you have a big bite of that cocktail sauce. But it was really funny. You could tell. Just again, the overall camaraderie that you get a sense of, not just with that type of video, but walking through and on the concourse, or when you're seeing kind of the interactions that is not even just team activities, that the camaraderie is being built, and they're taking that to heart. As Coach Rhule said, we got to go to a player-led team. Well, how do you do that? And they're really challenging these guys to get to know their teammates, because if you know them on a different level off the field, you want to fight for them when you're on the field. And so you're just seeing that camaraderie start to come together. And obviously still a lot of work to do, and we'll see how it comes together when they get on the football field. But that's been a big emphasis for this team this summer, is building that chemistry, that brotherhood, that camaraderie, and that can't be by the coaches. The coaches can't force that to happen. They can maybe set it up a little bit with certain team activities, but that's got to come from the players. And I think you can see how much this team likes each other and likes being around each other, and they're certainly making an effort to do just that. All right, got to get to another break here on Sports Nightly, but we are not through with the one-on-ones from Big Ten Media Days. Up next, we're going to hear from the quarterback, as Greg also had a chance to chat with Jeff Sims, so you won't want to miss that. So keep it right here on Sports Nightly. To Hogemeyer, local means something greater. Raised local, raised right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. The quarterback, Jeff Sims, and Greg Sharpe, up next here on Sports Nightly.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here's to the locals. Raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
FNBO is the great big small bank.
And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. We just heard from the head coach, Matt Rhule, and Greg Sharpe was also able to catch up with the quarterback, Jeff Sims, up in Indianapolis today.
All right, thank you, Jessica, and delighted to be joined by the quarterback of the Cornhuskers, Jeff Sims. And this is not your first rodeo. Did you go to a media day at the ACC when you were at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I went going into my sophomore year.
Similar or different, or what's it like?
It's a little bit different, but it's kind of similar too. It's just it's not as many interviews, but it's it's pretty much the same.
Any odd questions?
Yeah, I got some would you rather questions. It was kind of cool today.
One of the coaches yesterday got asked if they'd seen the Barbie movie yet.
Really?
Yes. He said he hadn't seen it. You probably haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen that movie.
Jeff, let's go back to your decision to come to Nebraska. Take me through that process. What was that like for you?
It was a pretty hard process, but once I made the decision, I knew it was the right one. I'm the type of guy that takes in every factor, and when I came on my visit, was just talking with Coach Rhule and Coach Sat, and just seeing how they operate and hearing their vision and hearing their goals, it kind of aligned with what I wanted to do. So I think that's what went into me making the decision.
Let's go to spring practice. And that's such a big part for you and everybody because you're all learning a new offense, trying to get that stuff installed. How did that go in your mind?
It went pretty smooth to me. Coach Sat and Coach McGuire, they did a good job with the quarterbacks, helping make sure that we knew everything, like learning the installs, learning the playbook, and just going out there and operating, and that's something that we prided ourselves on.
You feel like you made progress as spring went through the 15 practice?
Most definitely. We made progress every day, and that's all you can ask for is just to get better every day.
Your first taste of Husker Nation would have been the spring game. Not a great weather day, but a pretty good crowd. What'd that mean to you to see all those people come out to support you guys?
It was very cool. I told plenty of people the spring game is probably the most amount of people I've played in front of, so that was kind of cool to see, and seeing that that's just the spring game and that's not even close to what the stadium gets to is kind of crazy to see, and I'm very excited to play in it.
All right, let's move past spring ball. Mm-hmm. Then you get into the summer part of things where you kind of have to take a leadership role. How has that gone?
It's been going really well. We've been going hard in the weight room, hard and running, and just making sure that we know that we still have to prepare like we play a game tomorrow, and just making sure that everybody's on the same accord, building that brotherhood still, and just getting the guys ready.
Do you feel like you've kind of gained control of this team? Do you feel good about that?
Yes, I feel really good about it. I feel like I've built enough relationships to where the guys respect me, and that's the biggest thing you can ask for is for your team to respect you. Because if they respect you, they're gonna listen to what you have to say.
I've had a lot of questions here from people about what's the wide receiver room going to look like. What have you seen from those guys, and how is your chemistry kind of going with those guys?
Yeah, those guys are hard workers. They hold each other accountable. They're very competitive. They're a very competitive group, and I'm excited to see what these guys do this season.
We seem to see a little bit of nice chemistry between you and Billy Kemp in spring. What's he like as a player?
He's a great player. He's a player that goes out and gets it, and he just does everything he needs to do.
Anybody going to surprise us out of that room?
I wouldn't say surprise because, I think y'all should expect them to be an elite group of guys.
A couple days, you're moving into a dorm. Yep. You ready for that? What'd you guys think of that when Coach said he was going to do that for fall camp?
I think it'll be a good experience for our team. Just being in there with the guys, hanging out with them. Not really hanging out, but just coming back and seeing that you with the same group of people every day for 3 weeks. So it's going to be cool.
You sure? Some of the coaches I talked to are like, man, I don't know. Coach is making us. It's going to be different for. I guess it's only for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's a great way to just keep bonding and keep building that brotherhood. So I'm thinking we're really excited for it.
All right, what do you want to? What's the big things in your mind for the next 3 weeks as you get ready for that Minnesota opener? What are some of the things you know you've got to get done?
We just got to get better every day. Go 1% every day and just go out there and work as hard as we can. Make sure we master the offense. Make sure the defensive players are mastering their technique. And we just got to build as a brotherhood, come together as a team, and we just got to prepare harder than anybody else.
I talked to Coach Sat the other day, and I asked him about the quarterback room, and he says it's a good room. He says the guys seem to get along pretty well. What's your take on the way the room is?
Oh, yeah, we get along very well. I think since I've gotten here, our chemistry between the quarterbacks have grown tremendously. We look at each other as brothers, and I think that's what you need in the quarterback room.
We're sitting here, Lucas Oil Stadium. This is the site of the Big Ten championship game. That's the goal, isn't it? To get back here and be the Husker quarterback on this field in a few months.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. That's any team's goal. That's our goal. That's our biggest goal, and that's what we've been working towards this offseason.
Jeff, enjoy the rest of the day. And be healthy in camp, but also let's make some progress.
Yes, sir.
Jessica, there he is.
Thank you, Greg and Jeff. He was impressive today for sure. There was one moment he was on the Big Ten Network set, and they rotated the players on for each of the teams, and they went up there and all did an interview together. And he was asked about runses, and Jeff said that he has not tried runses yet. And Ethan Piper responded, "I'll make sure I get that right." So we'll have to ask Jeff Sims, I guess when camp starts, if he has tried runses yet, because everyone was pretty shocked that he hadn't tried runses. But it'll be here before you know it. I mean, again, it's here. And so on that note, because they're reporting and we have first practice and we have fan day and media day, we will have a full show tomorrow where best ofs are in the rearview mirror. We appreciate Cole's work on all of those throughout the summer, but we are back full speed ahead 5 days a week here as football is here. And Big Ten Media Days has concluded, which means, hey, it is time to hit the field for practice. First practice is on Monday. We'll have all coverage of that on Monday morning and throughout next week. All right. Final break here of hour number one. We're back to wrap up hour number one coming up right after this. And as always, again, if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better. Now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha. With Blue Credit, see dealer for details. Offer expires 7/31/2023.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Coody. Final few minutes here of hour number one. So my mom's been here all week. She drove back with me from Oklahoma and then flew back. And so I was driving her up to the Omaha airport this afternoon, and it was right around the time that we were expecting to hear the news about Colorado and the announcement to the Big 12. So I was trying to find a station that was covering it and talking about it. And I was on XM, and somehow I landed on the Paul Feinbaum show. And I was reminded why I don't listen to that show. But so I tuned in right as someone had called in and was asking about Ryan Day and Ohio State and complaining about the playing Michigan so close that they have to turn right around and play them again anyways. And so then the very next caller that came in asked, I guess he was at ACC, he was living in an ACC country, but is a graduate of Tennessee. And he goes, I just don't understand what the big draw is for TV networks to want to put Big Ten, or why to put Big Ten games on their networks, and why they think that so many people want to watch it. And Paul hops on there and said, in his response was, yeah, I mean, there's really only 4 blue chip programs, 6 now if you count USC and UCLA. And then he went on to say, Nebraska doesn't count anymore, and nobody cares about Iowa outside of Iowa. So again, taking a shot at Nebraska, and again, that's why I was reminded why I do not like to listen to Paul Feinbaum. But what's intriguing about that is, so I went and thought, okay, well, I wonder what the ratings are, right? So I pulled up this, and this is the numbers of college football and who are the most watched college football programs in 2022. Ohio State was number 1 at 5.8 million. Alabama was number 2 at 5.1 million. Michigan was number 3, 4.3 million. Then it's Tennessee, Georgia. Penn State comes in at number 9. Oh, Texas was 8, and then Penn State is number 9. Clemson is at 10, Florida 11. So you go on, and then, they're at number 16 is Nebraska. So I don't know what he's talking about, that people don't want to watch Nebraska because they're right there among the most watched in the country. So I don't know what his issue is with Nebraska, but there's certainly, and that was a big reason why the Big Ten wanted Nebraska. You don't, nowadays when you're talking about the teams that provide the most value, a lot of that goes back to your TV audience and how many people tune in to watch your program and what you add, the kind of value you add to a TV revenue deal. And there's no question about it. It always has been. Nebraska is a huge asset for TV revenue packages. And so I just found that kind of interesting that, just because Nebraska hasn't had the type of winning seasons that they wanted to have here in recent years doesn't mean people are still not interested in Nebraska. And so, yeah, I quickly turned the channel right after that. Not surprising, but it just happened to land on it. I'm not a Paul Feinbaum regular listener. His callers are pretty intriguing, for sure. Cole, I forgot to mention this when I was given the rundown of today's show. People in the chat wanted to know, you do have your joke ready to deliver in hour number 2.
I do, and I ran it by our interns, David and Camden, and they thought it was pretty good. They thought that the YouTube audience would enjoy it. So I hope it falls through.
You've had a little bit of mixed. It's not been very consistent. It was pretty much a fail in in the first episode. It was, you bounced back in a big way in week 2, and then you had a little bit of a split reaction week 3, and then last week was pretty solid, I think, response. And so we'll see how you deliver today. I texted him today and said, hey, oh, by the way, don't forget, your joke is today. And he goes, I'm locked in. Quote. That was a quote. I'm locked in. So we will see. But that I totally swung a miss and failed to mention when I was talking about the lineup, that Cole will have his joke here in hour number 2. And we will also hear from the women's coaches, John Cook, we have Rhonda Revelle, Amy Williams, and John Walker, who we're going to talk about this big announcement that came out today regarding attendance for their women's programs. And Adam Rittenberg. Greg had a chance to sit down with him and wrap up Big Ten Media Day. So keep it right here. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder of the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Blair is your trusted auto partner with savings on Ram models to fit your lifestyle. During the Make This the Summer sales event, get $9,424 off MSRP on a new Ram 1500 Quad Cab Warlock or $8,746 off MSRP on a 2023 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn, built for summer adventures with massive towing and hauling capability and 4 legendary engines to choose from. Serving the Metro since 1991, this is Woodhouse. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. $299 doc fee due at signing. Win finance with Chrysler Capital. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Day 2 of Big Ten Football Media Days occurred earlier today in Indianapolis, and the Huskers took to the stage. Head coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media and talked about a variety of topics. One of those topics was the importance of in-state recruiting.
I spent a lot of time looking at recruits, and Evan Cooper, who's on my staff, who's really been my recruiting guy, right-hand guy all along, we watched not just the kids that were committed to Nebraska. We watched the 2023 class that was still out there. We watched the 2024s, the 2025s, and what I saw was, you know what, there's a lot of talent in Nebraska. And even this year, we had 3,000 kids come through our camps. Like, we wanted to reinvigorate the camps. So everyone from third grade all the way up through seniors in high school. And guys came to our camps, from small towns all across the state that maybe weren't on our radar, but they certainly are now. And so that was all intentional. And that was part of the reason why we took the job. Because if you're strong at home, if there's talent coming from Nebraska, then you're going to win. And we have a certain ratio that we want to have. We want to make sure we always have hometown kids there, guys who grew up, and being a Cornhusker means something a little bit more to them. That's really, really important to me. And so to keep that talent home was good. And I think that's good when you bring a kid in from Florida, you bring a kid in from Texas, to be surrounded by guys that are local, that can take them home, that can, show them a little love, parents that will, adopt them and, be there for them. That's how you have a program like Nebraska take off.
In national news, Colorado has decided to officially rejoin the Big 12 Conference. The University of Colorado Board of Regents unanimously approved the resolution earlier this afternoon. The Buffaloes should join the Big 12 in time for the 2024-25 athletic season. And finally, a light schedule in Major League Baseball today. The Angels defeated the Tigers in both games of a doubleheader today by scores of 6-0 and 11-4. The Nationals and Mets are scoreless after 3 innings, and the Cubs and Cardinals are scoreless in the first. And finally, later tonight, the Guardians visit the White Sox. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
With trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe is on his way back after covering Big Ten Media Days over the last couple of days. We will hear from him again in his conversation with ESPN's Adam Rittenberg, wrapping up Big Ten Media Days, all the big storylines and all of that. So looking forward to that conversation. I close out hour number 1 talking about tuning into the Paul Feinbaum show. And I do, Andy Harris in the chat did point this out, and so I can't go without mentioning this. Paul Feinbaum was recently asked what was the best college football team ever in the history of college football. He did give a shout out. He did say the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers, the best college football team ever. So I got to give him his due there. But anything else, I'm not a fan of listening to his show, that's for sure. All right, well, some really cool news came out today regarding the Nebraska women's sports programs. The metric that tracks the attendance for the 4 sports, the 4 women's sports that does have attendance and tracks that attendance for all the games, every single game, soccer, women's basketball, volleyball, and softball. That metric has recently come out, and Nebraska comes in at number 2, behind only South Carolina. And, obviously, Nebraska volleyball, number 1 in the country, year in and year out. Women's basketball continues to stay top 15. They came in at number 13 in the nation. Softball is in at number 22, and that is absolutely going to rise this year, as we've heard the major influx of ticket requests and the waiting list, the season ticket waiting list for Nebraska softball after the announcement of Jordy Ball coming back home. And soccer was number 18. And we saw their attendance really grow towards the end of the season. They were playing some great soccer down the stretch and had some great crowds out there in the postseason. And you're going to hear from these coaches about what support and what those crowds do for them and their teams when they have that sixth man or the extra player. It feels like an extra player for their teams. I asked where the other teams in the Big Ten rank, and Iowa is number 6, Ohio State is number 8, Wisconsin is number 9. But again, across the nation, in terms of women's sports and that support, you might have great support for a women's basketball team or a volleyball team, but to have that kind of support for 4 sports from season to season to season, it just does not happen everywhere. So it's something that I know these coaches, you're going to hear from them, are very, very proud of and take a lot of pride in. And it means a lot to recruiting and to what they're able to do night in and night out when they have that home court, home field kind of advantage. And for John Walker, he signed on. He was named the head coach back in April of 1994. Rhonda Revelle, of course, played here and then is now the winningest coach of any program here at Nebraska. And John Cook took over in 2000, and Amy Williams was also a player here back in the 90s and then came back. And so all of these coaches have a great perspective of the growth, and that's where I started. I asked each of them about their perspective on that.
Oh, I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, there's been just continual growth. There's been times where we've had complete explosion. Our fans support the Huskers no matter what gender, no matter what sport, but especially when they have success. The more success you have, the more you're going to garner some support. But even in the years that aren't as successful, as long as they see the Huskers out on the courts and the fields giving great effort and really kind of doing it the Nebraska way, they're going to be out there cheering you on.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, when I started the program in 1994, we played at a junior high school initially, and then we played at an off-campus site. And the fan support was there pretty quickly, but I would say it's just there's much more professional approach to women's sports, and I think that almost reflects in the fan base, whereas maybe they came out initially just out of curiosity, and now you're really seeing just that passionate, regulated fan support.
Yeah, I felt like when I played here that it was just the greatest place to be a college women's basketball player. Just had over 12,000 people at our senior day and senior night, and I just remember feeling how special it felt to put that Huskers across my chest, and I did not believe that there was any way that we could just keep raising the bar, but I'm just every year it seems like we find ways to have higher attendance numbers and more people jumping on board and understanding that the women's sports here provide a very high level of entertainment, and it's something really fun to get behind. And so it's been fun to just watch that continue to just get better and better and better.
It's been a long process. First of all, that women's sports are a big deal. And I think people are really embracing that now. It's they love the athletes. They're here for playing for Nebraska, and they play with great joy and passion. And so I'm not surprised, and I've seen this building over the years. And like we say, there's no place like Nebraska, and our fans support our women's sports.
Number 2 in the country behind South Carolina. What does that mean to you as a head coach of one of the women's programs here?
Yeah, first of all, makes you proud. That I think a couple of things means you probably have good product on the field, on the court, etc. And then you just have this incredible, passionate fan base that gives you an advantage when you're competing, but also gives you an advantage with recruiting, and just that's the way sports should be.
It's very special. I think it shows just how unique Nebraska is. And we say all the time, there's no place like Nebraska. And one of the things that just makes that's such a true statement is the fact that our fan base just wants to really be supportive, and not just one sport, but for every athlete and all of the female sports. We have a lot of similar fans that are coming out to soccer games in the fall and volleyball games in the fall, and then right into the basketball season and then heading out and enjoying the nice weather for softball in the spring, and just really supportive of all of our sports.
I just think it's the way Nebraska fans are wired. I mean, they're just wired to support all things and anything the Huskers are going to do. Number one, they're paying attention. Number two, they're looking for the things that are right about the teams versus always looking for things that are wrong. And so even if we're not even always on the right side of the scoreboard, again, if they show a lot of effort and a lot of enthusiasm, play with passion, the Husker fan base is going to be there to support.
It's a huge advantage. Like we played the Big Ten quarterfinal against Ohio State, and I think 1,600 people there, and it feels like an extra player. And I know the players talk about that. And so just that confidence in sports, to have a true home field advantage. If you're playing at home and no one comes to support you, it's not really much of an advantage. Sometimes it can be deflating. But in our case, it is a true advantage.
Just incredibly special. And we know that it's not like that everywhere you go in the country, and for us to be having that type of support and creating that type of kind of sixth man and home court advantage, home field advantage, it just it matters a lot to us. It leads to success, and we're incredibly grateful for the support.
You're number 2 overall in the nation behind South Carolina when you tie together soccer, volleyball, softball, and women's basketball. What's your thought on that? I mean, were you surprised? Are you surprised at all that you guys are number 2?
I had actually never thought about it. So when I found that out, I'm like, well, what do we got to do to be number 1, right? And what's softball in particular got to do its part? And I think we're maybe on that path to help in that area. Our program over the last few years has been building, and there's a lot of people that have done a lot of work to put it on a really good path. And then you get a native Nebraskan like a Jordy Ball, who's had the success that she's had, coming back and saying, you know what, I want to wear the Nebraska uniform and represent my state. Well, that speaks to the heart and soul of Nebraskans. And so that right there, it has got people really excited, including the coaching staff, the support staff, and Jordy's teammates.
Yeah, I think it's a key. We think we have a good group coming back. We return virtually every player on the team, and I think if you come out and give the players the support right from the very first contest, I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Number 2 in the nation with those 4 sports combined behind only South Carolina. What's your reaction when you hear that in total attendance that Nebraska's right there, number 2 in the country?
Well, it makes me want to be number 1. What do we got to do? Well, we'll try to sell out Memorial Stadium. So that'll help. But I think it'll be really good momentum, because here's what our Husker fans are going to do. They're going to say, we want to be number 1. So increase attendance. And I think a great example of that, Jessica, was women's basketball this year against Iowa. They, I think it was a sellout in PBA. And so they're building as well. I know soccer gets good crowds. And, of course, Jordy Ball coming, look out. I mean, that stadium is going to be sold out. So we're going to have sports that are selling out. And, again, it's we got great kids who are fun to watch. And our fans, I think, are going to take this as a challenge. Just like the stadium, they took that as a challenge. Like, President Carter got up there and said, hey, we're going to sell it out. And when he said that, I'm like, at first, there's no way. And then all of a sudden, it just hit me like, we're going to sell this thing out.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Husker Nation always responds. They like goals, they like to hit targets, and right now, we've got a target in front of us that is attainable. So let's go, let's do this.
Well, that's the challenge. That's what we want to really push our fans. You're amazing, But let's go another level, and let's see if we can be the #1 women's sports team, have fan support in the country.
I like the challenge. I think Husker Nation is up for that challenge, and we're really excited to be a part of that and do our part. We know if we put a great product on the court that Husker fans are going to show up and show out. And I think, we've never been afraid of a challenge here in Go Big Red country. So I would not be surprised to see the Huskers bump into that #1 spot.
I love it. It's been one of my favorite things. It probably is my favorite thing since I moved to Nebraska, just the fan support for women's sports, because you just don't see it everywhere in the country. And I'm told that #1 goal is certainly attainable with the volleyball stadium game and then with the softball season ticket request, which you can still be a part of. You can still hop on that season ticket request on huskers.com/tickets. You can also get on the season ticket request list for women's basketball, and soccer tickets are on sale now. And I'm telling you, I think it could be a really special year for these Nebraska women's sports teams starting in the fall, of course, as always with Nebraska volleyball. But this Nebraska soccer team has pretty much everybody coming back from last year's team that was playing some really good soccer at the end of the season. They were not going to be a team that people wanted to face. They were one of the last 4 out, I believe, is I think what they call it in soccer, the last 4 out, that barely missing the NCAA tournament. They got really hot at the end of the season, and they have everybody back. And it's a team, half of the team is from the state of Nebraska, 15 players on the roster from the state of Nebraska. So it should be a fun team to watch as well. And those tickets are on sale now, and then you can get on the wait list for the other sports right now as well on huskers.com/tickets. So it should be an exciting year. Can't wait for it to all get going for those Nebraska women's teams. All right, got to get to a break here. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly coming up next. Greg has a chance to catch up with ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. And if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. The Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, I think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Nashville. Visit GoFlyLNK.com to book your trip today and fly like a Husker. Go Big Red!
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe was able to do several interviews over the last couple of days at Big Ten Media Days and got a chance to catch up with Adam Rittenberg of ESPN. Adam was following the Northwestern story, had a lot of exclusive interviews, put out a lot of information on that, and just again covers college football. So Greg was able to chat with him and wrap up Big Ten Media Days.
First of all, it's good to see you in person. Usually I'm seeing you over Zoom. How you doing?
I'm good. It's great to see you, and it's always busy. I always feel bad I don't have enough time to catch up with people here, but always good to see your face.
It's been a pretty rocky couple weeks for the Big Ten, starting with the Northwestern thing, and then you had the PJ's scandal. He, by the way, was on the offensive, and I think rightfully so. And then the Harbaugh thing that popped up this week. It's not been a great PR couple weeks for this league, has it?
No, it hasn't. It reminds me a little bit of, certainly there were more significant things going on, but, that period where you had, Ohio State had an issue, Michigan had an issue, obviously Penn State had a huge, it was about 10, 12 years ago. That was obviously a tough time for the league. Everything is different, though. I talked with Tony Petitti about this yesterday, the commissioner, and obviously Northwestern is more of a program, overarching, story that's not going to go away for a while. The thing with Harbaugh, again, maybe it went kind of under the radar, but we reported this back in January that they were under investigation and that the penalty was always likely to be a multi-game suspension. The thing that I'd heard early on was 3 to 6 games. It ended up seemingly being 4. And so, this was always a fairly significant situation for Harbaugh. The Fleck, and he obviously, like you said, defended himself pretty strongly against those. They don't appear to be new, nor do they appear to be overly serious right now. But in this environment, you never know.
How has Northwestern handled this in your eyes? I mean, it seems weird to me that the interim head coach was the first one that had to publicly talk about this.
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly they've been it's been a unique approach. The fact they haven't had a news conference, their president has communicated entirely through letters, other than an interview with the school paper, the Daily Northwestern, that was on Monday. And then I spoke with athletic director Derek Gregg, his first public comments on Wednesday morning here in Indy before Media Day. And now they're obviously involved in a lot of lawsuits, and so their attorneys are probably advising them not to do a full-blown press conference. But it's been, I think the handling has certainly come under a lot of justified criticism, and the players are going to speak. I mean, it's just a matter of when, and we'll see what they have to say, because David Braun, I think, was in a tough position yesterday and handled himself pretty well overall, but he is a relatively new coach, and players that either were involved in the behavior or feel like it was not hazing. I mean, we just don't know. We haven't heard from them a whole lot since the saga began.
Did they miss an opportunity by not coming here?
No. I think, because of your previous question, I mean, the fact that the university president and the athletic director had said very little about this, to put players as the first ones to have to address it. And again, there would have been no questions, hardly any questions, I should say, about any other topic. And so what could they have done to look good? I don't know. I think it's something they still have to plan out and consider, but they could say they weren't involved in the hazing or they didn't see anything. A lot of people wouldn't believe them. They can say that things were not hazing, they were just team traditions, and people wouldn't believe them. I mean, I think people have kind of made up their minds on this thing, even though I think there's a lot more that's going to come out about it.
Does the Harbaugh issue affect your view of Michigan at all, or do you still see them as a playoff team?
Absolutely, I do. And this is the thing with Michigan, Greg. Like, there has not been a program around the country that's handled distractions better than Michigan, if you think about it. Their head coach has talked to the NFL the last 2 years. And again, I should say this with a qualifier because we haven't seen how they play this season. But their offensive coordinator was involved in a criminal situation with computer crimes in the football building. Now you have this. There have been other things that have gone on, and I did some reporting in Ann Arbor about this around a month ago, talking to players, Ward Manuel, the AD, the university president, Santa Ono, and they have done a good job, and I think it's partly due to Jim Harbaugh and how he approaches things, of approaching distractions or potential distractions in a way that doesn't allow them to be diverted from their path. And so I don't think it's going to harm them. It's obviously awkward that he won't be there on game days, but in a bit of scheduling fortune, they're not playing Murderers Row in the first 4 games. They're going to be at home, heavily favored. But again, other teams, I'd say, watch out. This could really hurt them. I think Michigan, because of their maturity and the fact they've dealt with distractions before, and he's been pretty open about it with his team. I mean, the players I spoke to in June were saying, including J.J. McCarthy, that he was very upfront with them about the NFL interest this year and said, hey, I'm talking to the Broncos or whatever, I think it was the Broncos. And so there was a transparency there that allowed them to remain focused.
3 new head coaches here this week: Walters, Fickell, Rhule. How did they come across to you?
Yeah, all really well. I think 2 of them are veterans. Matt Rhule doesn't need to be prepped for a podium. He's very, very good, as you know. Tremendous orator, great energy. Luke Fickell, again, you can just sense his excitement to be back in the conference, and talk with him just about that moments ago of how he's a guy that, sure, maybe if Notre Dame, that job had worked out, he would probably be the Notre Dame coach. But I think his goal was always to come back to the Big Ten. And now he is. And maybe not the program that we thought, Wisconsin, but I think he's really excited to be back in this league. And then Ryan's a young coach, and I think he's a talented guy. He obviously did great work at Illinois. I'm curious to see how it goes. There'll probably be a learning curve. They have a tough schedule. Their roster is probably not where it will be in the future, but I'm excited to see what a guy like that can do in a league that he's got some familiarity with, having been in Illinois now.
Everybody here is split on Wisconsin. Some think they're going to be really, really good. Some think it's too early for them to be that good. Where do you come down?
I think it's probably going to be an adjustment for them. I just think that that's such a dramatic change on offense. And the thing that another Big Ten coach told me, which is a good point, is like their defense is going to be practicing against that offense. So how does that affect them when they go against Iowa? How does it affect them when they're going against Nebraska or Illinois or teams that more resemble what the old Wisconsin looked like? So the defense has not been the problem at Wisconsin. They've been really, really good for a long time, and you wonder how will the impact be on them when their offense could be scoring points in 45 seconds or off the field in 45 seconds. It's a very different style of play. So I sense that Wisconsin will be much more of a factor, at least in the conference race in 2 years. Could they win the Big Ten West? Sure, anyone can win the Big Ten West. But I think that's Iowa's the justified favorite on that side.
Good to see you, and we'll catch up during the season.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
There he is, Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com. Jessica?
Greg, thank you. Again, appreciate Greg sending us back lots of great content over the last couple of days. He will be back in studio tomorrow night. Mentioned this in hour number 1. We're back to full shows. We'll be back on Friday night. And he's got another position preview. So we will have that coming up tomorrow night with Bob Waker, tight ends coach. All right, going to get to another break because we have got to give plenty of time to Cole Hartman, who is back with his joke of the week. That's next here on Sports Nightly. Right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Hey, Husker fans, Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at astriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers,
You ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to text in those votes for Cole or rankings for Cole. Here in just a minute, he's going to deliver his joke of the week. But we did get a text from Dennis on our text line that asked me, besides football, what women's sport is your favorite to watch in person this year? I've always been, basketball is my favorite sport. I played basketball. My dad was a high school basketball coach, and so I just grew up with a ball in my hand, so basketball will always be number one for me. But I'm excited to watch all these women's sports. I love softball. I don't think I've been shy about that, and I've made that very clear since I got here that softball, I really love watching softball. And I mean, you have to enjoy watching volleyball as well. And then I can't wait to watch the soccer team this year. I think they're going to be pretty good. So, but for me, my favorite sport, bottom line, is basketball. So, Cole, you got a pick on that? You're a big volleyball guy.
Big volleyball guy.
Yeah.
Mainly, I mean, I don't know how big of a volleyball guy I would be if we weren't as good as we are.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to watch.
But your sister played volleyball, right?
She did. I was at a lot of those.
You were forced. You were like me, probably. I was forced to watch my brother go
to the club games and
all the baseball games
all day.
Yes,
all day. They play like 8 games a day. Yes.
So you grew up in the volleyball gym.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get to your joke of the week, you broke some news to me that it is National Intern Day today.
That's right.
And we have been introducing our interns to our audience over the last few weeks. They've been doing the tickers and have been doing a great job. You've been training them. You want to give a shout out to the interns on National Intern Day.
I do. To Camden, David, Jake, Henry. Really, they've helped us tremendously, like through this summer, getting stuff ready as we get ready for football. They've been a huge help. They've learned quickly all of the production stuff we do here. So shout out to them. We should have maybe got them like a fruit bouquet or something like that.
I would have made some brownies or something. Like my mom was just here. She's the cook.
We just didn't know.
You didn't let me know. She would have been happy to make something on National Intern Day. Matt Coatney is the guy that tweets out all the national whatever days it is. And so I guess I should have checked his Twitter today. He might have had that on there. But sorry, we missed it. But here's your shout out, guys. We appreciate your help here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right. It is time. You ready? You told me you were locked in this morning. Are you ready to deliver? Got a lot of people waiting on the edge of their seat for this one.
Jessica, I wanted to ask, when does a joke become a dad joke?
I don't know. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When it becomes apparent.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid. Pretty solid. I like it.
We'll see what the audience
We'll
has
see
to
what
say.
the fans have to say, because they've been pretty vocal on our chat and as well as on our text line, 402-413-2400. Let us know. We rated on a scale from 1 to 10. So let us know what you give Cole this week. And I don't know. Greg said that this segment was under review. This once we get rolling into football season, we'll see if this lasts.
There's a chance there's more interesting things to talk about once football gets going.
It's been a great summer segment over the last month. So, okay, we'll wait for the responses. We'll bring it back in here in our final segment. I missed this yesterday. We had a lot going on with Big Ten Media Days and everything else. But Cam Jurgens, the former Huskers center, and that got drafted in the second round by Philadelphia. He was drafted to be the heir apparent for Jason Kelsey, the all-pro center there for Philadelphia. And I remember back when the Cam was drafted, Jason was actually asked about it and thought, well, is this something that you're not happy about, being that they're drafting in someone to replace you? And he was involved in the process. He wanted, he was really liked Cam, and they thought that Cam was kind of a guy that could step into Jason's role because of his athleticism and all of that. And so Jason was a big proponent of drafting Cam Jurgens and to help bring him along and take him under his wing. Well, it was announced yesterday that Cam Jurgens is actually starting training camp for Philadelphia at right guard. So he's going to get a chance to battle it out there and play alongside Jason Kelsey. But for right now, he's moved into that right guard position. Eventually, he will probably be the center, but he is starting training camp and battling it out at right guard. And I thought this was interesting. So Lane Johnson, I worked with Lane Johnson at Oklahoma, and Lane was a JUCO college quarterback. He played quarterback in high school, and then he played junior college quarterback. And when Oklahoma recruited him out of junior college, he was a tight end, and then they switched him to defensive end, and then he ends up on the offensive line, and then he gets drafted in the first round, and he's an extremely athletic offensive lineman. Jason Kelsey, extremely athletic offensive lineman. Cam Jurgens, we heard over and over again about how his athleticism while he was here in the program. And so it's he fits the mold there of those very athletic offensive linemen, and now he's going to get a chance to start there at right guard. So we will follow that. Lots to look forward to. There's some pretty not so good news out of Cincinnati as Joe Burrow left the field on a cart, and I don't think they've given an update. They did not update. Zach Taylor did not update what that injury was, how serious it was, so I'm sure we'll hear more news about that coming up tomorrow. But lots to look forward to with Huskers in the NFL, and we'll be talking lots of NFL here coming up really shortly. We also talked about doing a fantasy football league here in Sports Nightly. Maybe we could invite the listeners or our YouTube chatters to join in on that as well. But okay, so let's get to another break, and then when we come back, we will read out some responses to Cole's joke of the week. Again, 402-413-2400, the number to text in your response to that joke. We'll get to that next here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Discover the meticulously crafted and effortlessly iconic 2023 Cadillac lineup at Woodhouse Cadillac. Lease a 2023 Cadillac XT4 for $499 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in-store at our newest location at 112th and Dodge in Omaha or online anytime at WoodhouseCadillac.com. With approved credit, must have a current Cadillac lease. Down payment $299.fee and first payment due at signing. Offer expires 7/31/23. See dealer for details.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Well, we just had it. Cole's joke of the week, and the responses are rolling in. It's getting more and more popular, Cole. I don't think Greg's going to be able to pull the plug on it because we're getting lots of responses on this, but the responses are rolling in. We got lots on the text, but I did want to read this. Mike on the chat said, good or bad, I'm giving Cole an 8. May increase for being a good sport and doing these jokes each week, even though some critique him. He still tries the next week. You've gotten some harsh criticism, and you keep coming back, you know? And then Husker in Hanover said, he gets better with honest critique. Fake praise does him no good. And so we're rolling them in. Here we go. Are you ready for the results? And then a lot of people just love that you keep coming back, even though some people are kind of hard on you. Let's see here. Oh, also, Crypto in the chat said, please shout out to the interns. So Crypto gave you a 9. Andy Harris, 4.5. Children of the Corn, he's a harsh critiquer, so just putting that out there. Sorry, but that's a weak 5. Dryce, I will give it an 8. And Ethan gave you a 4. Whew. Solid 5 from Husker in Hanover. And let's see here. Did I miss any more? I think I got them all in the chat, but we have several text messages here. So Art in Los Angeles, Cole's joke was a B+, or I'll give it an 8. That was his best to date. I'm a dad, GBR. Sam in Omaha, 8 out of 10. Carla, good giggle, Cole. Solid 7. Thanks from Carla. Steve in Bellevue, I'll give it a 6. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around.
That's a good one.
That was pretty funny. Jim in Columbus, I'll give Cole a 9.5. Gave me a chuckle. And Sue, great joke, 10. So the texters seem to like it. The chatters, a little bit less enthusiastic.
I wonder why that is. They're both tuned into the same show. I suppose it's just...
I don't know. I mean, maybe our texters are more positive than the YouTube chatters.
That could be.
But
any feedback, good or bad,
he's open to it.
I'm open to it. I'm willing to learn from weeks prior that didn't go over so well, and I'm willing to improve on it, and mainly keep this segment for as long as I can until Greg pulls the plug.
You're pushing to keep it going. I mean, as long as people are responding, I don't know if Greg's going to have any choice, but he did say it was under review. So he said, what did he say last week? This segment is under review.
The segment's under review.
So we'll see. Hopefully he's watching, or he goes back and watches, and you kind of prove yourself a little bit tonight. But I think that was a pretty solid performance there.
Thank you.
All right. What do we have coming up? No best of shows. We're back live tomorrow.
We are back live.
And we have another position preview with, Bob Wager.
Bob Wager.
Yep, tight ends coach. So Greg will be back with those position previews. And we also have a nutrition podcast as well. Cole, thanks. Appreciate it. You sit here like a champ and took some of the criticism, so appreciate
Absolutely.
it. All right. And so we have Bob Wager coming up tomorrow. We'll continue those position previews with the tight ends. And so I know this is a group that the coaching staff has been excited about. A lot of experience and the much-awaited debut of Thomas Fedoni. So he feels back and healthier, better than ever. And so can't wait to hear what he has to say about that group. I know again, a lot of experience, and they've been kind of the leaders of this group. So we'll hear from Bob Wager. We'll also have a nutrition podcast. We'll preview a little bit of that. We'll be dropping that tomorrow as well. And, it's been a pretty cool series and learned a lot. And we heard Coach Rhule talk about that and that approach to the recovery process and how that's been. It's been a overall approach to developing the student athletes, and there's more that goes into it than just hitting the weight room and then what you do on the practice field. There's all these things, all encompassing things that go to developing, and the player development part of it has been huge too. And so the nutrition part of it has been really big. Kristen Coggan, we heard her, they put out a piece on social media platforms a couple weeks ago. And when she did her interview here on Sports Nightly, she talked about that, how she really bought into that with Coach Rhule, and how they sit down and they eat meals together and breaking bread with your brothers. There's nothing that brings together people quite like that. And so that was one of the quotes that really stuck out to me. And she's been really busy. We will wrap up our performance, our nutrition podcast with Kristen Coggan, and she has a staff too now that are dedicated directly to football, and so we will have her on. But she told me that she needed to get through training camp. It's a really busy time getting these guys through the weight room and all of that, and the fall camp, and she was down there the other day doing check-ins when they came in and they signed in to get their food at the training table. She was doing some other work with them and checking them out, and so it's a really busy time for her and her staff. But once they get through training camp, we'll have her on to be able to dive into all of that and all the things that they're doing with the football team. She's still she was getting settled in and getting acclimated back in the winter when we sat down with her, and she was still putting her team together. But I know they've really done a lot of great things, so we will hear from her as soon as training camp is done. And yeah, it gets underway on Monday. We'll have Fan Day coming up on Sunday. I will be out there. I'm going to try to do another Ask the Experts segment. That's been a fun series, asking some of the kiddos some breakdowns, some details, getting some preview in their minds and their eyes. The kids say the darndest things, right, leading into this football season. So we'll try to be out there. It'll be inside the Hawks training facility this year, so it's going to be a hot one. So that'll be nice to be inside this year. So we hope to see you out at Fan Day on Monday, and then hey, it gets rolling. It gets rolling on Monday with practices. They're moving into the dorms tomorrow, so we'll hear all about that. We have a media day on Monday, so we'll have all kinds of interviews. But hey, we're back with a full 2 hours tomorrow. Greg Sharpe is back. He'll be back in studio, so we'll have more on Big Ten Media Days. Wrap up that Bob Wager plus nutrition podcast. All that coming up tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to Cole, to David, and to Camden for helping us out here. And we'll be back tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska. providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games.